What's up? This is Big D and Shade from Takoyaki Anime.
What's going on?
And we are back with our upcoming spring anime for 2017.
You always find some way not to get it quite right. Always find some way.
This season is going to be a very, very good season. There are a lot of high quality, high profile shows that I've been excited to for the sequels for.
A lot of sequels coming out.
Yeah.
This is gonna be like the season for sequels, honestly.
Yeah, probably the biggest sequel that is about to happen will be the first show that we're going to be talking about, and that is Attack on Titan Season 2.
Yeah. One of these days, I might actually get back and finish watching that one, but I have not.
You never finished it?
I never finished it. What? I'll totally cop to it. I know it's gonna come up at some point, so let's just kind of put that out there already. I have not finished it.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's why it wasn't on my list. I can't.
I was wondering. Yeah.
I can't do that simply because it's not. I haven't finished it.
All right. So this show is made by Studio Wit, and the synopsis for the second season is the second season of Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titan. Eren Yeager swore to wipe out every last Titan, but in a battle for his life wound up becoming the thing he hates most. With his new power, he fights for humanity's freedom, facing the monsters that threaten his home. After a bittersweet victory against the female Titan, Eren finds no time to rest. A horde of Titans is approaching Wall Rose, and the battle for humanity continues. Whew. Yeah.
See, I saw the preview for it. Don't get me wrong on that. I saw the preview for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks absolutely amazing for what it is, but I have not. It was absolutely stunning. I think it's going to be a lot of the same things that we've come to expect. Obviously, more Titans themselves are revealed and such. So, I mean, I really got to catch up with it, but I don't know. I think I don't know. Like originally, the reason why I stopped watching it, I think, is because like so much hype hit for it.
Yeah.
Like it blew up faster than damn near any anime I have ever seen has blown up. It was just that, just wow.
Was it bigger than Sword Art Online? Because I know that's still hyped.
I think it is, honestly. I really do. I mean, as just amazing as that is, I think it even went that far that it became that big. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Like, I think maybe a year ago or less, we were talking about when is season 2 coming out. It's supposed to be coming out next year, and it is finally here. So I can't wait. One thing that I hope doesn't happen, like it happened with a lot of the other shows that we talked about, is that I forget a lot of the details. This show is too much for me to watch to be able to catch up, like to rewatch the whole first series. And if it was the only high profile sequel, then I would go ahead and do it because it's a month from now. But I have like 5 other shows that I'm like really excited to watch. Like really, really excited to watch, and they're like sequels. And one of them, I don't remember barely any of the details, so I have to rewatch that. Another one, I never finished, so I have to actually watch it. And then there's another one where it was really good. I remember a lot of the details, but then I'm like, I still kind of want to watch it again. and then there's Attack on Titan. I'm like, I can't. Like, watching Attack on Titan will be me catching up on the other two shows. So I have to I'll have to pick some.
I mean, again, it was always a stellar, like, absolutely point. It seemed like everything that would fit up my alley. It's got great action, tremendous storyline. I mean, things coming out of just everywhere where you're just like, you're trying to follow each and every person. And it reminded me a lot, like, from what I remember watching of it, it reminded me a lot of like Neon Genesis Evangelion, because you got these just massive creations fighting each other over, like, it was a lot of cool things with it. But I don't know, like, everyone out there has that one anime that everyone looks at them and goes, "You haven't watched that yet? You haven't watched that?" And it's just one of them that you look at and you're just like, man, there's something about it that just doesn't, as much as it does it for everyone else out there, doesn't do it for me. It just, something about it just turns you away from it. You're just like, it's not bad. I don't ever consider it bad. I just go, maybe another time or something. I'll watch this instead and get on that. So I don't know. At some point I will, but I don't know if I'll be able to catch up on this one in time for the second season. So yeah, we'll see.
I know. What was it? They brought the live action movie to the theaters over to the US, and I really like that fact. I went to both of them because it was a two-part movie. Mm-hmm. And I actually took my stepdad because he likes Attack on Titan too.
Oh, really?
So it was really cool for like us to go, and especially because it's live action, so he's more inclined to watch it.
Yeah.
Even though he's already seen, like, he loves Attack on Titan, and I'm like, oh, they got a live action version, so it's like Attack on Titan plus, and he loves like beat 'em up kind of bloody violent movies, so it's like this is the perfect show for him. Perfect movie for him to watch. And when we watched that movie, there was a couple of things that happened in the movie that didn't happen in the first series. So I'm hoping it didn't kind of spoil the second season. But it's been so long since I've seen the movie that I don't remember a lot of in the movie. So this will be all, even if it shows like some of the same things, I'm like, oh yeah, they did show that in the movie, and it won't. It's not that fresh into my mind where
it'll still be a surprise, basically, because of that. Yeah.
So I'm glad. I'm not glad it took so long, but I'm glad that. You and
everyone else. I'm gonna say that right now. God, how many people? See, this is what I'm saying. The hype is so real and so massive for this. Is how many people I have ever talked to about anime ever in my freaking life. And the very first thing that comes out of everyone's mouth ever since that anime came into existence is Attack on Titan. And the very first, the next thing that happens after that is, when are they coming out with season 2? Like, everyone I know, I'm just like, season 2, haha, here you go. So either way, though, I mean, it's. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that it does a lot of good things for the actual series, and hopefully, maybe if it actually finishes it, because I know from hearing from a bunch of people that the other one got left on something of like a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. So maybe if it actually like answers a lot of questions for people, then I don't know. It's something good will come out of it, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
One thing that I'm worried about, the airing date is April Fool's Day.
Ah. That could be interesting.
So I'm like, I waited so long. If it comes out on April Fool's Day, I'm like, please don't. Just please don't. I had already gave up on waiting. I'm just like, it'll come out whenever it comes out. And now there's actually a date, and I'm like, please, really? Come on. But yeah, so excited for Attack on Titan season 2. Whether it comes out on April Fool's Day or not, we shall see. So the next show we're going to be talking about is Boku no Hero Academia 2 or My Hero Academia.
Yeah, this wasn't on my list either, though. I never watched the first season for this one.
Yeah, I know.
I remember us talking about it. Don't get me wrong. I remember us talking about it.
Yep.
And I remember you telling me I should check out at least the first episode of it. But I never got around to it. I've totally copped to that one. I'm being horrible in this one. Usually you're the one that I'm like, dude, why have you not done that? And now I'm the one sitting here going, I know. And now all the season 2s of all the shows that I'm not catching up on have now started to rear their ugly faces and be like, ha ha ha. So,
yeah.
Either way, so all on you on that one.
Yes. So there's no synopsis. It just says season 2.
Just season 2.
A basic synopsis for the show is if you look at the key visual, the kid on the left with the green highlights in his hair, he's the main character. Mm-hmm. He lives in a world where there's people who have superpowers that are called quirks, and there's people who do and people who don't. You usually find out if you have a quirk by the age of 4, and he's one of the people who didn't have a quirk. He is really, really, really into superheroes, and like he knows all their stats and stuff like that. So he's like really passionate about superheroes. He really wants to be one, but since he can't, he's doing the best that he can to like be around that world. One day he ends up stumbling into this fight between superheroes and supervillains, and he ends up meeting the strongest hero, and because of what happened in that fight, he ends up like talking to the guy more and more, and the guy influences him into trying to go to this high school or academy that all of the prestigious superheroes and stuff like that go to.
Even though he doesn't have the power.
Yes. The whole process is really, really, really cool. And later he ends up being involved in these other fights where he comes up with all these clever situations to get around the fact that he doesn't have the strength that he needs for the superpower. Mm-hmm. And it's a really, really, really cool show. Like there's parts in it where like a fight is going bad and something bad happens, and I'm like, no, run! And I'm like just panicking for the main character. I'm like totally involved with invested in all of these characters. All the superpowers are unique. All the character types are unique. Like there's a frog girl, and she's a superhero, and you're like, that's not, you. When you think of superpowers, you think of flying, swim. I don't know, Aquaman, I guess, swimming. Like super strength.
The general
yeah,
that you normally would have. Yeah.
Yeah, and this show has like, it has those things, but then it has a whole bunch of crazy superpowers. So it's a very, very interesting show, and it has very interesting characters, and I'm glad that it is back.
Nice.
Next show I'm going to be talking about is BORUTO! Naruto Season 3.
Why are all the ones that I am not... Every single one so far. Good Lord. I will totally cop up to this one too. Yeah, no, I have not. Okay.
I want to know how far you've gotten.
Last time we talked, that's as far as I've gotten. I have not gone back to it.
Well, no, like what, where in the story?
I stopped where, oh God. I'm terrible with names, and now I can't even remember their names. What was his name? The one who ended up going to Orochimaru. Sasuke. There we go. I stopped when Sasuke killed Orochimaru. And the reason why I stopped was because that felt wrong to me. Here you have somebody who has been a thorn in how many different of Hokage's sides? And it wasn't even like a grand fight. It was just, he just killed him, just straight up, just done. And I was like, did that just happen? Did how many Hokages before this not have, like, be able to take him out, crippled him so many different ways, so many different times, and you just was like, it's just dead. I'm like, that just seems wrong.
How did it happen? Because
I don't even remember how it happened exactly. And now I know someone else said later on that he comes back.
Which
I think it was
maybe farther along than where I am, so I'm not sure.
Okay, it's like I think like he comes back through his last disciple or the other dude. I can't remember his name. Okay. He basically kind of makes a comeback in that sense.
Kabuto.
Yeah. But I'm still like, okay, that just seemed so just wrong to me, and it turned me off from the show to where that point. And I tried to watch a few episodes after that, but it didn't have the same, because now that the focus went from we have to take care of Orochimaru to now we have to take care of Sasuke, because he became like the main contender now. And I was just like, I mean, I knew we were going in that direction anyways, but at the same time I was like, come on, really? So I don't know. It when you start getting that convoluted in the whole thing, it just really makes it hard for me to stick with you and be like, all right, we're there, we're doing it. But you got that so long, and I was just like, oh my god, what the hell? So yeah. So for that, okay, if it's when Orochimaru was like sick and his body was deteriorating and he was prepping to transfer his body into Sasuke, and then Sasuke killed him.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I guess the reason why I get it is, I'm like, how old is Orochimaru? He's about the same age as the Tsunade, the lady. And Jiraiya, they're all around the same age. So it's not that his body is too old. It's just he's been doing so much stuff to his body and all the snake transformations and all that kind of stuff to where his body's like deteriorating. So I can see that because of what he does with his powers and all that kind of stuff, he just goes through bodies like crazy. And I see that there's always this one part where he has to he holds himself off and like has Kabuto like take care of him and make sure nothing bad happens until it's time for him to actually take over another body.
See, and I got that. I was right up there to that point. Yeah. And then when that was right before that happened, Sasuke just like, no, fuck you. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I mean, I didn't want Orochimaru to take over Sasuke's body. I didn't want that to happen because I knew that would be a bad thing. But I figured there would at least be something where he took over somebody else's body for some, maybe he had, you expect the bad guys, especially of this caliber.
Yeah.
Bad guys in general, and this is an oversimplification for it, but bad guys in general have contingency plans upon contingency plans upon contingency plans all over the damn place. So I would have figured that if it came to that point where he knew that Sasuke was going to kill him, and he had to have at least kind of suspected that was going to be kind of a thing, that he would have had some way of either A, stopping him, or B, just transferring right then and there to like a backup body. Like that wasn't like his plan A contingency, but it was plan B contingency.
Yeah.
So I would have been like, okay, yeah, sure. And I would have followed it right from that point. But it didn't, he died. And then for the longest time, we were with Sasuke then. Then it was Sasuke's, it became the focal point was him. And I'm like, it's just no.
Okay.
That seemed like such a letdown. It was such a letdown to see that happen. It became, and it wasn't even like we were like, anyone was shocked about it or anyone was like, oh my God, this happened. He killed him. It was just like, he's dead. Okay, moving on now. It was like a footnote. And I'm like, you killed the guy that was horrible to everybody else along that line. And then we're just like, moving on. And I'm like, oh, come on. Really? I can't follow you like that. No.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, I know from other people saying that eventually we get back to that. Like, he comes back through.
Well, like his contingency plan took so long that you just lost interest.
Yeah, I lost interest. Yeah, he had a contingency plan, I hear, but now I lost interest in it. And I'm like, So, I don't know. I know there's a lot of cool fights that happen later on. A lot of cool things. A lot of just interesting things that happen later on. But I mean, I don't think it's like, from what I've read about the synopsis of this one, it seems like almost none of that particularly necessarily matters. Because now for this new season, we're not even really focusing on Naruto. Now we're focusing on his son.
Yeah, and basically the new generation of Sannin, which is like, somebody who kind of looks like Orochimaru, somebody who looks like Sasuke, and somebody who looks like Naruto.
Yeah. So I'm like, I could probably pick this one back up and not even really like necessarily skip a beat.
Yeah.
I might have a few hiccups along the way where I'm like, wait, what? But I could just like mentally go like, all right, something else happened. We're going to move on from there. I just missed that point. So we're just going to go, so I don't know.
I have a month. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the mangas that I have. And because I can't watch 170 episodes in a month. I can.
And how many of those episodes are fillers? I mean, honestly.
Oh, probably a ton of them. But it's me. I've watched all of the fillers. Like, unless I'm like halfway through the episode and I'm like, okay, Ninja Ostrich, no thanks.
Beach episode.
Yeah, but I kind of want to see that because sometimes they sprinkle like a little bit of things into like an actual story into the episode. Yeah, and me, I'm like a completionist for certain series where I'm like, I've invested this much time. I'm like, I don't want to like skip over chunks of it. I
don't know. I did that with Bleach, so. That's another one. That's another one I never finished. That was another long one that, like, when they took the sudden turn that they did at the end of the arc with the when they finally killed captured what's his face. They sealed him away because he became all powerful. But the way they did it, and he lost his powers, and I'm just like, really? That's what we're doing? See that again? That's another thing. Just like, you had something cool. Like when he finally went into his like ultimate hollow form and things, and I'm like, that is awesome. Give me more of that. And then he breaks it, and he's like, I'm never doing it. And again, I'm like, you lost me. No. I'm just like, I was hoping for sort of like contingency where he all of a sudden gains full control over that and makes it even more amazing than it already was, and I'm just like, I have ideas in my head of where directions things could go. That's the same with Naruto. I had an idea in my head where this was going, and then they went, nope, we're going this way, and I'm like, screw you, I'm not watching anymore. So, I don't know. Oh, man. Because I remember it was back in, like, years ago. I was watching all of the Naruto stuff, me and Seagro. And then you were watching Bleach. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was amazing things happening in that, too. I freaking loved it. And then they messed it up. They messed it up! I was still even following with Naruto too up until that point, and then slowly, I think I watched like maybe a couple episodes after that just to see where they were going. And when I was like, all right, we're just now all about Sasuke now, and now Sasuke's like the main big bad evil. I mean, I know he killed Orochimaru, but come on, Hey, what is this? No.
Orochimaru was half dead.
And I still even see that's how good of a bad guy he was, where he was half dead, and I still believed he could come back from that. I still believed he could be like, no, I had this plan all along, just to knowing that you were going to try to double cross me and kill me, and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just like, and then they're just like, no. And I'm like, really? Really? Screw you!
Like every other fight, he had something.
Yeah, every other fight. Every other fight, he actually did. He managed to be the bad guy that everyone was like, "Oh no, stay away from him! Don't do anything with him. He's gonna make all powerful bad guy. Don't do anything." And how many Hokages did he kill? How many ninjas did he take out and corrupt and it's just like he was like the mastermind behind so many different things. He had his hands in like so many different plots, and then it just was like done. And I'm like, what? No, that's not how you take out a bad guy of that caliber. No, I don't know. Anyways, enough of that. Enough of the rants on that.
I'm just gonna read the manga because for years, like before I found out that the show actually ended or the manga story actually ended, for years I kept saying one day I'm gonna get back to Naruto and actually read it, and then it ended, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll read that one day or catch back up on the show. And I've never really had like a serious push until they're like, oh, we're continuing the story like with the next generation. And I'm like, oh, well, I want to see that. So now I gotta actually go back and find out what happened in the rest of the story. So I'm probably, I don't want to make any promises because I always make promises and it's like 80-20 that I don't follow through. So
one day we'll get to that.
Yeah.
One day.
But regardless, if I read the manga or not, I'm gonna watch the first episode. So. Yeah,
I might give it like a look through just to see.
That one. The next show we're gonna be talking about is Clockwork Planet.
Yay! One that I was looking forward to. Woo! And this is actually a new series. It's like what? The last one has been just like a continuation of other sequels. Like we said, this is a season for sequels, apparently. But yeah, no, this one looked quite interesting. And so the description for this one is Naoto's high school dropout and brilliant amateur tinkerer. He lives in a world that has been so overexploited that the entire surface has become one vast machine. When a box crashes into his home containing a female automaton, it's a harbinger of the change that will rock the entire globe and give Naoto his chance to be a hero. Honestly, like that kind of caught my attention, just that description alone. And then going into the actual video that was up for that, the visuals looked really good. I mean, we're talking about like, I remember visuals like this from like, oh crap, what is that one movie? I think it was like a 2-part movie that had the dude that went into like a whole full armor and he was a doctor when he wasn't in armor in like the spiritual world. And then when he went to go into the real world, he was like the protector of a certain city, essentially. Oh, it's killing me. Just like the visuals though, especially with like the city itself, remind me a lot about that. And it was such a cool anime, and it's such a, like, I'm hoping, like, the actual action in it, because it seems like it's going to be a lot of action in this one, but I'm hoping, like, the actual action in it is something akin to that, because that would just be absolutely amazing. And I think it's going to be something really cool to see, so... Again, they don't really give a lot as far as, like, the details in, like, the little video that they show for it on AniList. But It's got nice characters, good visuals, storyline seems intriguing, and I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. I think this one. Which one was this one done by? I want to say.
Zebek.
Oh yeah, Zebek.
So, Zebek likes to do a bunch of boobs and butt shows, and
Granted.
and from the synopsis, it's like, this is how the world works, and the main character has a girl crash into his life, and then he's gonna end up being with him. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's one of these stories. Like you said, the visuals look really, really cool. The one person's suit or design thing that like opened up looked like some weird scissors.
Yeah.
I didn't like that part. It looked weird. I have to see
granted,
more.
it looked weird, but I'm curious to see where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I have to see it do more. But it's like, so I'm definitely gonna watch the first episode. But as far as like my excitedness going into it, I saw that and I'm like, oh, well, that looks kind of weird. And then I see Zebek, and I'm like, oh, they do these types of shows. And then it's like, oh, she crashed into this room. Oh, okay. So I feel like I know what kind of show this might be, but because the whole world is like a machine, I'm really intrigued about that. Like,
yeah.
Like there's certain parts of the trailer where I'm like, whoa, that looks awesome. But then there's other parts of the trailer where I'm like, So I'm like firmly planted on the fence. I don't know which way I'm leaning, but I'm curious.
I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna have a lot of good things to it. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. And don't get me wrong, I looked through while you were talking with the various animes to refresh my memory as far as if it goes. And yes, they do a lot of boobs and butts. But they did do an anime two actually, that I really enjoyed, and I think is going to showcase, if they can bring some of that into this, is going to be a lot of good action, solid action sequences, which was Outlaw Star.
Oh,
that was a good, solid action. And it did kind of showcase boobs and butts a bit, but not overly much. One that was a little bit more in that regards and might be something closer to what this is going to be, I think, is Kanekon. But that one also had a lot of good action sequences to it, too. Like transformations and like power usage and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that is also something that's going to be here as well. So we'll see. Ooh, they also did Shuffle, too. Ooh, that was a serious little drama venture there. Anyway, so yeah, that's my take on that.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll check out the first episode. It's intriguing, but I am worried also. The next show we're going to be talking about is...
I know which one it is.
Dungeon!
Yay! I am going to say right off the bat, I am a little disappointed. Just a tad bit. I'm a little disappointed because this is not continuing.
I had a feeling that was...
Yes. I'm just a tiny bit disappointed. I wanted to see more of, they drop a big bomb at the end of the first serious dungeon where you're just like, and then they're like, and over. And you're like, why? No! Don't do that to me! You're horrible! And like things start clicking in your mind. You're like, oh my god, that's why he had his grandfather and oh my god, that's And now they're like, dungeon, and we're like, everyone's like, yes! And then they're like, now we're gonna talk about Age Wallenstein. We're like, oh, okay. That's cool. It's just like, yeah. All right. So, I don't know. This is my take. I'm guessing from what I've seen and the description for this, that this is events happening before the first season. And this is just talking about Aige Wallenstein when she first became the Sword Princess. When she got the power and the strength that she did, and why, she did. And this is kind of going deeper into her story. We're not going to take part in the kid and what he was doing. This is now a side story dealing with her, which is interesting. Don't get me wrong. And the Loki family, where she's from, has a lot of interesting characters too, which I'm really like, okay, this is kind of cool. And they do show like some bits of the first season, so I'm thinking there might be some overlap where we start seeing the same events that happened from the other one, but now we're taking it into her perspective.
Yeah.
And what she's seeing, which again, cool. Not quite what I wanted though. Not quite what I wanted. So it's like one of those minutes we're going, yeah, So I'm mixed on this. I'm still excited for it. It's got the same sort of thing that we've always wanted to see. Same, action's still there. It's probably going to be even more so because we're following Aige Wallenstein, Sword Princess. She's going to be fighting a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to see some cool stuff, I'm sure. But it's not going to feel quite the same, I think. We were, I don't know about you, I'm pretty sure you were too. We were really rooting for and liking the kid because he was the underdog.
Yeah.
We rooted for him because he was, stepped on. People didn't think much of him. And so he was a really intriguing character to watch, and you really wanted to see him succeed. Now we're following Aige Wallenstein, who we know is going to be badass on her own because we've seen her. We know she's there. She's the top of her class at what she does. She's awesome. So I'm thinking that it's not going to be quite, the feeling's not going to be there. It's not going to be as I'm not going to be amped. I'm not going to be watching fights going, yeah. I'm going to be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's nice. It's just, I don't know. Again, mixed feelings. What's your take?
So I had just saw the trailer and I was like, yes, more dungeon, yes. And it showed the girl a lot. Did it even show the guy?
Nope.
Yeah. So
it did not show him at all. Though it did show two scenes, but you were looking at her the entire time where I know he was there.
Yeah.
The focus was on him during those scenes, but now the focus is on her, which is why I was saying I think that's we're flipping the script just a little bit here. So go ahead though.
Yeah, I was interested in her character because she doesn't talk that much and she just shows up, does something, and then leaves. And
she's the love interest of the guy that we're rooting for and everything,
Yeah, so I was like, I was curious about her. So yeah, this seems like it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be more awesome, Sword Art Online awesome, where you're following a character who's powerful and is always just showing more and more power. Yeah. I'm curious, how much of her power have we seen in the first series? Is she way stronger than that? And the stuff that she's been, I don't know. Her armor's been getting messed up, but she hasn't actually she hasn't been hurt. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, maybe in that last fight, I don't remember. In the first season, the last fight, because I know that fight was pretty major.
Yeah, everybody was there.
Yeah, and I think everyone was pretty much taking some pretty serious beatings for the most part. But I think she was still fighting pretty strong, and I think she was probably one of the only ones besides the kid who was actually still managing to keep up the pace more or less.
Yeah, and I think that battle that happened was something that was not normally supposed to happen. I think, if I remember correctly, there was deep, higher level monsters than they're supposed to be coming to low level areas. Yeah. And Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want her to start out already strong and then just watch her become the best, or if I want to see her start out with nothing and become this princess.
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get privy to that, because it honestly depends upon how in her background story they're going to say, like, she became, like, how she got as strong as she did. Because it's quite possible that she became strong when she was with the Loki family, but I think if she got into the Loki family, I think she was already strong before then, I want to say. Because I don't think a family like that would have accepted her. Because, I mean, that seems like a high-profile family right there. And I don't think they would have accepted her if she wasn't at least showing a great deal of potential in that regards. Because, I mean, you notice the kid didn't have that. Whenever he tried to go to all the families and ask for someone to patron him, he got rejected left and right.
Yeah.
But that's just because he didn't show anything, and people thought he was worthless. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Intriguing. Not as hype as I was. But,
I'm sorry to bring you down, but you had to know the truth about it as far as I can see.
Okay. All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Eromanga Sensei.
Now, I'm surprised. This was, considering what we said about the one before Dungeon, and this one is like a direct like correlation in the same sense, even more so because we're not even like putting any pretense about anything whatsoever. This one is all straight, like probably going to be some awkward, ecchi kind of moments, things going on here.
Yeah.
I picked this one because I figured it would be worth a few laughs.
Well, for this show,
I'm just surprised you picked this one.
Well, so the reason why I picked the show is because it reminds me a lot of Oremo, which is short for "I can't believe my sister is this cute." That show was basically about a girl. It was about a popular athletic girl who at school she was the most perfect person, and then whenever she came home, she helped like hold herself. Well, no, she talked on the phone with her friends and everything like that, treated her brother like crap, but then whenever she went into her room, she had like this giant collection and just stacks and stacks and stacks of like hentai games and hentai.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was like little sister based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
So this show kind of reminds me of that. One, because the title says Ero, and it's a little girl, kind of cute girl. And then the other part is because the brother seems like he's trying to take care of her. So, and then he calls her Sensei, which I guess he finds out that she knows a lot about it. So I'm curious.
No, because, okay, so the story description for this one is the new siblings romantic comedy revolves around Natsume, a light novel author in high school, and Matsume's little sister, Sagari, a shut-in girl who hasn't left her room for an entire year. She even forces her brother to make and bring her meals when she stomps on the floor. Matsume wants her sister to leave her room because the two of them are each other's only family. So right then and there, he writes light novels, and she's a shut-in, but it seems like there's probably some drama involved with that because they have no family. They are their only family between the two of them. So I get where he's coming from, and she might be the shut-in type just because something happened. The reason why they're their only two family members in their family, I guess, would make kind of sense to me. I guess they don't say, like, you know, aunts and uncles. I mean, they might be just saying, like, direct family members, like their mom and dad or whatever. But anyway, it goes, Mazumene's novel illustrator, pen name Eromanga Sensei, draws extremely perverted drawings and is very reliable. Masamune had never met his illustrator and figured he was just a disgusting perverted otaku. However, the truth is revealed that his Eromanga Sensei is his younger sister. To add to the chaos that erupts between the siblings, a beautiful female best-selling shoujo manga creator becomes their rival. So, like, I could see some funny things going on here. The comedy, I guess, to me is there. I can see there's already going to be those moments where you're just laughing just because of some, whatever. Especially when he actually finds out the truth and involved in that. Uh-huh. But I don't know. I know there's going to be a lot of ecchi. Obviously, her pen name, eromanga sensei, and his novels. Obviously, if she's drawing novels for him to illustrate or whatnot, obviously his novels are of the risque hentai type, and she's right along with being able to draw illustrations for him in that regards. So I don't see any way this is gonna go except potentially bad in any sense of the word. It depends upon the characters. It really does. This whole thing as to how good it's gonna end up being, how funny it's gonna end up being, is gonna depend a lot on the characters. They've set the stage well enough, but like if I don't know. My thought and expectation for it is if he all of a sudden gets weirded out and is not like all on board for the fact that when he finds out that she is his illustrator, I think that would be a good stopping point right there. Like that would actually be a good dynamic between the two of them. If he all of a sudden is all on board for the fact that his little sister is drawing illustrations of probably highly perverted things, and I'm gonna be like, all right, ho. This is gonna go in weird areas that I don't want to see things go into. So let's stop right there. But
he does call her by that name, so.
Well, but I mean, if he called her by that name, I think that's only just because that's either she makes him call him by that name because she's okay with it, or he just got used to the fact that he's known her as that pen name for the illustration as eromanga sensei. I don't know.
He said it, and she said something about being embarrassed. So I think that she's fine with having that name out there for herself, but she's not fine with people calling her that name, and especially him. So I think that's gonna be a cool dynamic if she's like, just keep it business, like don't bring all that up, and the dynamic is more them two against their rival, which I'm very curious to find out who the rival is.
I'm curious as well, but again, it's just, the characters in this are going to be the making or breaking point, I think, in this.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't say that about a lot of different ones, but because I mean, sometimes the storyline or like the action sequences are enough to keep things moving at a good pace.
Yeah.
But considering the way the story is laid out, if the characters don't meet that expectations of something, I don't think it's going to get there. Mm-hmm. So that's just my thought on it.
Okay. The next show that we're going to be talking about is Frame Arms Girl.
See, I wasn't as interested in this one. I don't know. This one didn't. Maybe since I was interested in CLOCKWORK, I wasn't as interested in this one because it almost seems kind of a similar. They have some similarities between the two of them.
So this show is. It's almost a mech show.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's basically cute girl robots fighting each other. And there's a very similar show that I had watched like 5 years ago. 5 years ago. It came out in 2012, I think. And it was called Boso Shinki. And it was basically the exact same concept. It is cute little girl robots fighting each other. I watched that show and I really, really liked it. I liked in this show, the thing that was different was that it's a guy owner, and in this show,
in the CLOCKWORK, the CLOCKWORK was a guy owner, I think, and in this one, I think is a girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that dynamic is what changes it for you, huh?
No. Having it at like, let's see, if
I mean,
having
the
a
only
guy owner opens up the ecchi door, so having a girl owner keeps it tame, which is fine. Which is fine. It's so the thing that bothers me in this show is the CG. I was just going to say that. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, something is bothering me. I don't know. I've seen the show. I'm watching the show. I've seen something extremely similar to this, but for some reason, I don't like this a lot, and I had to figure out why. I couldn't find
Frames Arms Girl. Is what you're talking about? Or,
with Frames Arms Girl, there was something that I couldn't. There was something I was like, why don't I like this? So I went back to the show that I enjoyed and watched a long time ago, and I couldn't find the show, but I found the trailer on YouTube, and when I was looking at the trailer, they started showing the character. It was one of the things where they introduce the character and show the name, and then like they may say, like they might show like a little clip of something, and then they go to the next character. And it's one of the things where I'm like, it's not really showing a lot, but I wasn't sure what the reason was. And then towards the end of the trailer, they showed a character like talking, and then they showed a fight scene, and that's where I found out what the difference was. In the older show, when the characters are talking and just say interact, like the toys are talking and interacting with each other, they're drawn in 2D because they don't have their armor on. But as soon as they like materialize their armor, then they turn full CG and they start fighting, and they start fighting really, really fast to where you can't see the detail on the characters, like them moving around. It's just shooting all over the screen. So I was like, okay. Now I went back and watched the other the Frame Arms Girl again, and then I realized what it was. So 3D wise, Frame Arms Girl kicks both Soshinki's butt. Like the models and everything and the character designs look way better. But then the scenes when the figures aren't fighting, they're like talking to each other and stuff like that, it looks like garbage to me because they're super, super stiff. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're dolls and everything, but they're not stiff like dolls. They're stiff like stiff 3D humans. So that's the part that turned me away from it. And the transformation sequences are like way, way, way too long. It's like 3 times too long. In the first show, they're like, we're about to go battle. And they're like, okay, and a flash of light, and then they have their armor on. This show, they're like, they get on this thing, and then it like zooms into the arm, and it's like shoosh, 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 shoosh.
So basically, like, it's like because wasn't it Ronin Warrior that was very similar to that as far as like their transformation sequences and everything? Like you'd see individual armor pieces flash on, and you're just like, that looks cool, but can we get on with it? I mean,
yeah, and I'm like, okay, it's a bit better than other versions of this that I've seen, but I'm like, how many pieces are they going to show? And then
all of them.
Then after,
every tiny little scrap of metal that's going to be like transplanted to make their armor, we're going to show you all that.
And like, as I'm thinking this, then it cuts to it cuts away to like a full shot, and then they're like, Shabba! And I'm like, why didn't they just do that last little bit? That last little bit was freaking awesome. And I'm like, if they get like a new weapon or something, then you could be like, and then like something new added to it. But yeah, I'm like, the transformation sequences are way, way too long. I don't like watching the CG dolls move around when they're not actually fighting. But other than that, it's okay. I still hold it to Bozo Shinki's level as far as story goes, and I won't know that until it starts. But I don't know. I wish that there were more 2D figures in the show.
And yet, this is one that you want to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I'm like, oh, this is like Bozo Shinki. But just from that trailer, I'm like, oh no.
I have a feeling this is gonna be one you're definitely gonna watch like one episode with and be like, I can't. It just seems wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like the for Bozo Shinki, it was half of the story was like Toy Story, where the owner's always gone and you're just hanging around with the figurines, and they're like hanging, like just chilling in their little charger seat thing, and like just hanging out. Or like something happens in the house, like the wind blows something out the window, and they're like, we gotta go get it. And it's like, and it's like these figurines, maybe, I don't know, it's too heavy. I know it's too heavy for this to happen, but like the cell phone like falls out the window or something because of the wind or whatever. But like, they gotta go get the cell phone. The cell phone weighs as much as they do, and they're like struggling to get it up, and like they can fly kind of, but it's still the same weight as them. So it's like the kind of like cute robot girls doing cute things, I guess. I don't know, but
I'm not surprised that that's one of the focal points you have in that regards to that. You're always about that, so.
Yeah, so that's what I'm interested in this one. Hopefully, it's good.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, honestly. I wish you the very best of luck.
But yeah, the next show we're going to be talking about is Gene No Guardian.
Yes. Okay, so this one, there wasn't a video on this one, I don't believe. Was there? I don't think so. Yeah, no. Any list didn't have a video for this one, so I didn't actually see a video for this one as of this moment. But, reading the description was like a freaking roller coaster. Mm-hmm. And then, especially at the end, it seems like it just kind of drops a bomb on you, you know? So, here we go. The description for this one is, Suigen may be poor, but he is one of the best online video game players. I'm intrigued. Okay, cool. This identity, however, is unknown to all except Rikule, Suigen's classmate. Cool. She delivers a mysterious mobile device to Suigen, but before being able to explain herself, she is kidnapped, and Suigen unwittingly finds himself wrapped up in a series of problematic circumstances. I'm like, okay, so we just seemed to went to we were all about him being an online video game player, and then there's a mysterious device, but before we can even do anything with that, she gets kidnapped. And then all of a sudden there's a series of problematic circumstances. I'm like, wow, holy crap, what did we just do here? And then, okay, so, and as at the end, searching for a way to save her, he accidentally activates the device, and I'm like, okay, what's this device do? Allowing him to dive into a new virtual game world. Now I'm thinking, what the hell happened to Rikule? Weren't we just about to go save her?
He's like, I'll save you. It's like,
and all of a sudden, hey,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you hold that thought right there. I'll be seeing you here in a minute. Give me I need to go take care of something here and see how this virtual looks like. But if there is descriptions are always blasé, and you can never really tell how well things mesh together until you finally actually witness it yourself. Because I have been misled by so many descriptions I've seen in animes. Biggest one in my mind is me, yourself, and I. I mean, that one was the biggest punch in the face of a description I have seen ever. I don't even remember what the description was, but I came into it thinking, oh, this would be a nice little quiet anime to just kind of, no, this one's got to just put a knife in your fucking back. So I'm always descriptions for me are kind of all right, you kind of laid out the general basis. Hopefully we have some way of meshing this all together. But the fact that he is diving into a virtual game world, I'm now I'm hoping maybe this will be something akin to the big names that we have seen. And by that I mean Sword Art Online, Log Horizon, and Overworld or Overlord. There we go.
Yes.
I'm hoping this is something akin to that we're about to see, because if he's going into a virtual game world and he's one of the best online video game players,
no game, no life.
I'm hoping that we're gonna be like something, as opposed to, and I know he's not in the virtual world, but as opposed to the fantasy anime that we have in this season, the one with the mage and the paladin who always wants to hurt herself or whatever, like that character, the main hero, quote unquote, okay, he sucks. He can't do shit right. I mean, it's a comedy, so that's the way it's supposed to be. But I'm hoping with this one, because he's supposedly the best online video game player, I'm hoping that means when he's in this world, we're going to see some cool stuff. That he's going to be like, right away, going to be like, oh, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do, and he's going to pick up everything super quick, and we're just going to like fly through it. And maybe she's in this world or something, or connected to it. I mean, she brought him the device or something, so I'm assuming there's some sort of connection there in some way, shape, or sense. But I don't know. It intrigues me, and I'm hoping. Again, I haven't seen any videos for this. I don't know what the visuals are kind of like. The little screenshot, little poster deal that we have for it looks pretty damn cool. But I guess I'm more or less I'm hoping for something akin to the big names that we have seen in the past. And I know there's been those names, and I know some people might feel like the whole diving into a virtual game world is kind of getting played out. But to me, I still think there's a lot of potential and a lot of good things that could come from it. And I'm hoping to see even more variety and even more just things that are going to make me go, that's cool, kind of thing. So that's my take on it.
So when I was prepping the picture for the show, I saw a studio that kind of looked familiar, and the studio's Emon. They've done 2 shows that I don't like. One that I ranted about last season.
Wait, which one was that?
Spirit Pact.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess this is my turn now, because I never went into that one. So I guess this is my turn now to be like, is it gonna be something cool? And be like, no.
So I don't want to talk bad about the studio too much, but I don't know if it's a Chinese studio. Like, these names sound Chinese from this description. So it's interesting to see, like, if this is a Chinese studio, it's very interesting to start to see Chinese studios like come along with the Japanese anime. I know a lot of the stuff is animated in Korea, but this is different. Like, Spirit Pact was different, like a different that I'm not used to. So I know we have some followers that like really liked Spirit Pact, and if this show is along that same path, I'm pretty sure they're gonna like this one as well. I'm gonna give it another shot. Maybe it's me.
Hey, this time I'm watching it too, so maybe I'll be able to actually be like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, because I was like, please let it be me, because I was mad. I was so mad. But yeah, like everything that you explained, it sounds really cool. The picture looks really cool. I'm just gonna hold my tongue until it starts.
And then it starts, and then everything's gonna go to hell, and you're just like, "What the hell is this? Why?" We shall see. We definitely shall see.
All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Kekkai, Sensen, and Beyond.
Aha. Yeah. Okay. Not a lot about this one. And honestly, I'm trying to... this might be one of the few times I'm going to have to go back. at least watch like the last maybe 2 or 3 episodes, because I'm having a hard time remembering if I actually finished this one entirely, or it might have been one of those ones that like ended abruptly.
Yeah.
Like they're like, nope, we're stopping here, and then you're gonna have to wait till the next season drops to find out what happens. I don't quite recall. I need refresher at least on that to remember for sure if I either finished it or if it just, because where I remember it, I'm like, okay, it didn't seem like it ended where it should have ended. Did we actually end this one, or is this something? So I'm gonna have to go back at least to see that. But beyond that, not a whole lot to say about this one, because the description just says this is the second season for this. But I am excited for this, and y'all can go back and see some of the videos we have about when I talked about the first season for this, because I'm not gonna go into like huge details with it, but this world that they have created here, this is one of those few instances where like the world itself, just like we were talking about with CLOCKWORK, is so interesting, because you have a mesh of the supernatural, and I mean like way supernatural. We have monsters, aliens, weird creatures, just everything is here in this city, and it's a human city, but it makes it seem so just like different, and it you never know what the heck's going to happen. The first season, even from the first episode, got me going, because like it was just a story of a kid who ended up getting like, he had to go chase after some creature, and I have to remember some of these little minute details, but like it was a small, tiny little creature he was trying to chase after. I don't even remember why, but it was like his little adventure trying to get to this thing, and then he runs into the detective agency, and like their job is to make sure to like kind of like maintain peace and whatnot, but they investigate certain activities dealing with, supernatural, because they have people on staff they have powers, and they use these powers. And like even the kid, you end up finding out, has like his eye has a certain power that he uses with that too. Again, I'm gonna have to watch some of this again so I can remember everything that's happened. But it was just there was so much in it, and it was so intriguing with how they portrayed everything, that I'm like, yes, oh my goodness, yes. Gotta see what the heck's going on here, and I'm hoping we just keep this seems like a world that they could keep expanding, because so much can happen in it. I remember thinking about it too. I remember there was even a part where there was a game. What the commander of their detective agency unit had to play a game because he wanted to get information, and the only person who can give the information he wanted. You had to play this game and basically stake your life on it.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's like it's like playing the most massive, complicated game of chess imaginable. And you have to like stay awake for hours and hours and like days, even weeks. Keep playing with him. You didn't necessarily have to win. You just had to survive. You can't lose, and then time has to run out. And it was just like, oh my God, like that's, holy crap, how do you come up with, that is some amazing things there. That is original, new, refreshing. I'm like, okay, holy crap, we can do a ton of stuff with this. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what's going on in this world and how they're going to continue to expand upon it. So, and again, this is done by Bones. So, there's going to be the visuals on it are just absolutely, they're there. Bones does amazing work with that. So,
yeah. So,
I remember this is one I picked up and you didn't. So,
I had watched the first episode and I didn't like the characters. I don't know why, but I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm gonna go ahead and watch the first episode of the first season to see if I actually like it better. And if I do, then I might catch up. I don't know. This is another show that's they had 2 seasons already, right?
No, this is the second season for it.
So the first one's only 12 episodes?
Yeah, I want to say.
Okay, cool. Well, if it's like that, then I may have a better chance of adding that to the list than like Attack on Titan or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Bones. I love Bones, but for some reason, some of their shows, I'm just like, I'll watch something else.
See, this is your Attack on Titan for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know a lot of people like this show, and I couldn't get into it, so I'll give it another shot. But I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, this is definitely one I can get behind.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the next show we're gonna be talking about is Natsume Yuujinchou Roku, or Natsume Book of Friends 6.
Season 6.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I cannot say enough about. Literally, they could go for like 20 seasons on this, and I would probably still watch every single damn season that comes out. Because just, yes.
We were just talking about this show like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Because it wasn't on this last season that it came out with. It was a season.
Oh yeah. Okay, they skipped.
Yeah, so it was they skipped a season and now they're on this season. So, but this is, God, you could watch, like, again. This is. I am not one. Do not get me wrong. I am not one for slice of life. And this is definitely a slice of life anime. And I have a hard time watching them because usually they're just boring. There's nothing really going on. But I mean, that's slice of life. You're just looking at someone's life as they're doing it and whatnot. But it's so interesting and entertaining to watch. I can't not. You want to know what happens. You feel for him. You get emotional with him. You see his life. You see what he has to put up with, and you want to know more. And you want to know what his decisions are going to be. I mean, at this point in his life, he has a pretty big potential about being an exorcist, basically. And it's interesting. Okay. It's interesting to see if he's going to go down that road, because he has in his life 2 big influences where he sees both ends of the spectrum of exorcists. One who takes really good care and cares a lot about the other spirits out there, who actually has them on his side, and he treats them as either friends or family. And then you have the opposite end of this spectrum, where they're his slaves, essentially. And he just, he will do it for the money. He does it for the fame. And he just wants to make sure, he doesn't care if it's even a good or bad. If it's something that needs to get taken, he'll do it. Doesn't care. And he literally will take them out. Most of the times, the other exorcists will actually seal them away, or whatnot. No, he will take them out. He doesn't care. And so it's interesting to see where he's going to go with that. Even more so in the story, we're finding out more about his grandmother, who he got the book from in the first place, and seeing more about the family. Like last season, we saw kind of like a little more of a prequel to even the beginning of the first season.
Uh-oh.
Because you see the family that he is currently with, the family that he's been with now for 6 seasons. You see what that family did before and why they chose to have him come with them. And it's really just amazing. I love it. It's a heart-touching story, because I mean, I smiled and everything. I was laughing, smiling, just kind of like, because I mean, it's not necessarily spoiling anything with it, but he, the father figure, basically, that he is, with at this point in his life, he went to a funeral where he saw him, like, maybe a few weeks before he ended up adopting him, because, I mean, they're all family, but he just kind of take care of him now. He saw him at a funeral, and everyone avoided him, and everyone hated him. Everyone was talking bad about him behind his back. And he's like, he's a kid. Why are so many people shunning him in the family when he's a kid? Why? And he felt anger. And if someone you're watching that, I felt the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible. I mean, he's a little bit different, but come on now. That's a family. You don't, So, and then what did he immediately went home, and his wife was like, oh, so how did things go? And he was like, okay, fine. And he completely kind of ignored her a little bit. And she was like, what? And he goes up and he's cleaning out one of the spare rooms that they had. And she starts asking about it, and she realizes, and that's what he was already prepping the room for Natsume to come in because he was like, he'd already made up his mind at that point. He's like, no. I am taking him away from that. He's coming to live with us. And I'm like, oh, man, that's cool. It's just those little heart-touching story things and everything. So, I mean, this whole world, I mean, it's not necessarily the world is different, but I guess the adding of the spirit realm and whatnot and all the monsters and other yokai that he ends up coming across and finding kind of changes it into its own little world in its own sense. But just seeing more about it and seeing more about this Natsume's life and everything is so interesting. So I'm highly excited to see how this is going to go. Want more? Give me more. Yeah. Absolutely. And maybe you will eventually end up catching up on this one.
Yeah. It's like almost 80 episodes, maybe.
Hey, the longer you wait, the more there's going to be.
Well, 80 minus 1. I've seen one episode. But, yeah, every time you talk about the show, I'm like, I want to watch it.
And then you don't watch it.
Yeah.
So, good stuff all around. Highly recommend to anybody out there. Even if you're not necessarily a fan of slice of life anime, give it a shot, because you probably will not be disappointed. I can almost guarantee you that. Cool.
Another season of another great show.
Keep them sequels coming.
All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Recreators.
I was on the fence about this one. I really was.
So, out of all of the trailers that I looked at, for some reason, this one just grabbed me and like, you're sitting right here with us. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I wanted to they could like go, me looking at these characters, they could just go grocery shopping and book shopping and go to the library and just not do anything at all. And I would be fine just hanging around them. I don't know what it is about these character designs or the way they move or what, but I am absolutely drawn to this show. I've seen the trailer. I know there's robots in it. I know it's done by Studio Troika, which they did another show that I really, really liked, which was I'll Know Zero, which was a mech anime. They partnered with A1 Pictures to do that one, and this one it looks like they're doing it mostly on their own. Or they're at least the main studio for it. And because they did a show that I loved before, and because this trailer drew me in so much, like, I wouldn't say it's my most anticipated, but it's like the best characters that I want to hang out with for next season. So, and all I saw them do is like walk around, pick up books, and walk through a grocery store. And I'm like, I'm hanging with these guys.
That's the party I want to be involved in. Let's go over there.
I don't know why. It's so... I looked at that trailer and I went back and looked at other trailers and I'm like, why am I drawn to this so much? I don't know. It's so weird. But for the story for the show, It is humans have created many stories. Joy, sadness, anger, deep emotion. Stories shake our emotions and fascinate us. However, these are not the only thoughts of bystanders. But what if the characters in the stories have intentions? To them, we are godlike existences for bringing their story into the world. Our world is changed. Mete out punishment upon realms of gods and recreators. Everyone becomes a creator. Wow. Okay.
See, reading that description before then, because I read the description on that when I was like, I don't know. This feels like, what was that one the last season that we watched the first episode for? And like, it was just huge bombardments of just like, oh my God, the epicness is huge. And I'm like, I'm seeing that all over again. The epicness is real. This is where we're at. I mean, so like immediately in my mind, I was just like, no. I'm not going through that again. Even those 10 minutes I watched for that one, I'm not going to waste it on this one again. But now that you said that and I'm looking through it again, that's what it was. I was trying to remember. Razafon. Do you remember that one?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that one? But you know which one I'm talking about, right?
I know the title very well.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm putting it with. It's just a really strong name.
When I saw the mech, that's the first thing that clicked in my head. Because the style of the mech was like there. And I'm like, from what I remember, and I could be remembering it completely wrong, but what I remember, because it's been, God, when did Razafon come out? Jesus.
The 90s?
Was so long ago. But like I remembered from the mech that was there. And then like when I saw the characters too, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of that going on in there too. Like that is just like you were saying, that is some beautiful animation as far as like the characters go and everything, because they're obviously not human. Like they didn't go for like the realism kind of standard point there, but they did not diverge so much from that. So it's got a nice, it feels natural almost kind of thing. Even though in your mind you're like, that is not real. That is animation. That is not real. You're like, but it looks just nice. It's easy on the eyes. And I think that is definitely and even the mechs. I'm not a huge mech fan. Even the mechs look pretty decent on that too. But I was a fan of Razafon, so I mean that's because and maybe this is gonna have, because that had a deep story. That story was freaking deep as all. That was like Evangelion almost deep going on in that one right there. And hey, maybe this is the next Evangelion Razafon going on here. So I probably will check this one out.
Okay.
I'm very I don't do a lot of mechs. I get very very particular about my mech animes, and when I do watch them, literally I think Neon Genesis Evangelion, Razafon, and Full Metal Panic have been the main mech shows that I have ever watched. And if this is with that in the same line, I'm cool. We're with it there. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm in love with the show already. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm in love or something. It's so weird. But yeah, I'm definitely watching it, of course.
I think I know what the next one's gonna be.
Yeah, Rokudenashi Majutsu Koushi ni Kinki Kyouten.
The only one that probably has any higher like word count is going to be Dungeon in that one. That's why we just call it.
Or what? Akashic Records of Bastard Magic Instructor.
Interesting. I'm intrigued by this. I can't say I'm like I'm like a 75-25. Like the other one, I was like 50-50. This one, I'm like 75-25. There's a little bit, and I'm just like, I'm not sure. Depending upon the female character in this, I might be like,
I'm
but
1090.
Really?
I hate that guy.
Really?
I don't even know what he's been saying. I hate him.
Really?
I don't like him.
Okay.
If this is the show that I think it is,
so
I hate him.
And this one, the description for it is, in the action fantasy story, Gurren is a part-time teacher at a magic school who is inclined to write self-study on the blackboard and then take a nap. One of his students, Sistina, gets angry and challenges him to a duel, and he is easily defeated. However, when a terrible incident threatens the school, Gurren shows intense dedication to protecting his students. Here again is one of those things where I think the description is being very vague and not like explaining things to the utmost that it probably deserves. I think, to me, that he is going to be one of those teachers, one of those ones who is like the all-time lazy. Like like the way they described him, I kind of reminds me of what was that military anime?
Yeah,
the fantasy military anime that I watched. I think I watched it and you kind of skipped it. But you know what I'm talking about, because he was super lazy, didn't want to do anything, but when it mattered, when it counted, he was the best above all. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be kind of the same line of reason. He is one of those who does not, whether or not he has a reason for the reason why he does not want to do anything, there might be some major reason. Maybe he's like super, like something happened to like make him be like, I'm leaving. I'm not going to have anything to do with, I don't want to use powers. I think he probably does have powers, but he's like, I don't want to use powers whatsoever. I'm done with that. But, maybe the magic community is like, well, you can't just leave, so we're going to give you a job teaching kids, and we're just going to leave it at that. And then he's like, I don't want to do it, but they force him to, so he's like, well, screw it. I'm just going to say self-study and be done with it. Maybe that's the way it is. I'm hoping. But, again, the visuals for it, I think, are really nice. It's not like I don't feel it the same way as I did with Recreators, but I still think the visuals and the characters are nice. It seems to have a little bit of comedic sense to it from what I kind of see. So it's one that doesn't take itself overly serious. Again, I'm not sure about to me it's the female character that's going to be the deciding factor as far as whether or not I think I'm okay with the guy. Again, I'm not like, obviously I can only see from the visuals, but I think I'm okay with the dude. It's going to be the girl, the main girl that you see in or she's not there. But anyways, she's one of the main characters. I know that. I've seen in the adaptation relations guide or whatever. She's going to be the one that's going to be kind of the iffy point for me. But I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I feel like it's going to be good. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. We shall see. But I think it's got a potential.
Okay. Me, I'm going to watch it because I want to know in full if I really hate this dude. But the rest of the show, I don't know. It's from the synopsis, he sounds like a cool guy. From the trailer, I hate him. But but watching the show, if that evens it all out, then I'll go ahead and continue. But I'm skeptical. I don't know. Okay. I couldn't even pay attention to like how it looks and all that kind of stuff. It was just him being obnoxious, and I'm like, stop. So
I guess we shall see.
Yeah. The next show we're going to be talking about is Saekano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend B flat. I don't know why it has B flat at the end, but it's the second season.
Gotcha.
The the original season was based around these characters that were trying to make a dating game. I had talked about this show like over a year ago or more, and I started watching it and I never finished it. I really, really liked those characters that were in the show, and I'm curious if my tastes in characters have changed since the last time I watched it. I'm gonna go ahead and this is the show that I need to go back and finish because I know I want to see the second season because I liked the beginning of the first season.
I remember I watched the first episode of this one. It was intriguing, but I don't think it was intriguing enough for me to be like, I'm gonna continue it.
They were doing a lot of fourth wall breaking, and it was like they're talking about ecchi and anime while they're all in a hot spring.
Ecchi and anime.
Yeah, so it was silly. It's a bad first example, I guess, if you don't. From the other episodes that I saw, from what I can remember, I don't think the show gets that ecchi. I think they were just making a really strong point in the first episode, and I feel like it's a bad example for the series. Like, other than like cleverness as far as the joke went, you don't really get to see like the uniqueness of the characters that I liked from the first episode. So I'd say if you do watch the first season, watch more than the first episode so you can get to know the characters. But yeah, I want to be doing a watch party. I'm glad the show is only like, the first season's only like 12 episodes, so it'll just be like a 4-hour stream. But I'm definitely watching this in preparation for the second season, and I can't wait for the second season to start. But
yeah, I might catch up on it. I probably won't, but I might catch up on it. So we'll see. Yeah, again, it's one of those that I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't one of those that was just like immediate, like, sweet, you know. It was like, you know, okay, you know. Yeah, just like you on my backlog.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about it because I hadn't finished it. So
just excited for the new one.
Yeah. And I know you wouldn't be a huge fan of it because it's kind of slice of lifey. But
yeah, and I think that's the reason why I didn't necessarily think it was like bad. I just didn't think it was like I wouldn't like binge watch it. I don't think, because I think I'd get bored of it probably quicker than I should. Yeah. So
the next show we're gonna be talking about is Rage of Bahamut.
Yeah. I say, oh boy, if any of y'all have been following us regularly for as long as we've been doing this, the main dude in this one annoyed the ever-loving crap out of me. This is an instance, we were saying before, of character making or breaking the show. And the character, the main guy in this one, just, I couldn't stand him. I'm like, oh my God, someone just kill him. Get it over with. I don't want to see him anymore. He annoys the shit out of me. So, I can't. I tried. I gave it a shot. I think I watched like 3 episodes of this one, and I was like, I can't. I cannot. So this is all you on this one.
Yeah. I think I even said it last time. Towards the, like, right after the middle, not the end, but towards the end, your favorite character disappears for a while. So I was like, hey.
And it probably makes it so much better for me at that point. I probably would enjoy it way more. Because it seems like a very intriguing storyline, but
Yeah, and if I'm correct, the studio was Bones. No, it's Mappa.
Yeah, it's Mappa.
Yeah, so the animation was like amazing.
Yeah,
and,
no, it was great. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks great. I hate the character though. I adamantly just hate the character.
And as you can tell from the visual that we have now, that guy is missing still. So
I just don't think I could do it.
yeah,
I don't think I could put myself to that point just to be able to go, hey, he's gone. Woo!
And then episode 2, they get him back.
Yeah, and then he's back, and I'm like, son of a, I know. Why didn't you die wherever you went to?
The original story. When did it come out? Like 2 years ago? Almost 3 years ago. Yeah, 2
However
years.
long we've been doing this.
Yeah,
I think it was the first animes we ever talked about on the channel.
Yeah, it actually came out when I started the channel.
Yeah.
Oh my god! No, is it the? No. It came out that season. Okay. Like 2 months into the season, I started the channel.
The studio behind it has done so many good animes.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah.
But that one. That one. Yeah, October 6, 2014 is when it was started.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yep.
And I thought the character was his design was interesting because it's one of the few times I've ever seen an anime an afro on a character.
And a red afro.
Yeah, but just no.
Yeah. I know that there is this. It's called Rage of Bahamut. Bahamut is the dragon.
Yep.
And this dragon is being sealed away, or has been sealed away. And there are people trying to maintain the seal, I think. The main character was a thief.
Yep.
And he's going around causing havoc. He ends up running across this one knight and angers him so much that the knight spends every ounce of his being just trying to capture him.
Yeah.
And it's one of them things where he's like, it's kind of a bromance where he's like, you're so awesome, but I hate you also so much. It's kind of like Vegeta and Goku. Where he's like, I'm going to kill you and nobody else better do it because I'm going to do it. So if you're fighting him, I'm going to kill you and then I'm going to fight after you too. It's the weirdest, like one of my favorite types of kind of romances where it's like they hate each other, but they like each other also.
Yeah.
There's a little zombie girl that they come across, and she's probably my favorite character, I think. Then there's this big drunk dude with this weird bird that's like right in the middle of the key graphic.
Yeah, I remember him.
And then there's this demon girl that the main guy ends up getting like a blood contract or something like that with. So he either can't escape or he has to help her do something for the curse to go away or the contract. It's so weird. And then now there's this new girl. So the other show is the one I had to finish. This one I have to rewatch because I remember what the characters' like positions are in the stories. I don't know where everybody is right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. I don't know if the dude's been kidnapped or he's in prison or whatever. And then
hopefully dead.
And then,
hopefully he died.
And then I think,
just gonna throw that out there.
I think everybody else, this like mismatch group of people, are like going to get him or something. It reminds me of like Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like Jack Sparrow is like causing all this havoc. He has all these enemies and people who are after him, but he has all these buddies and everything. And then he ends up going over into that like other dimension. Everybody else like goes off the end of the world after him. So it's like he has the main guy with the fro, who's missing now. Like he has this crew of people who are like going to get him, and it's
which I don't know why. I mean, they just should leave him and be done with it. They can go help get Jack. I would prefer that. Jack's cool. This guy is annoying as hell. He just needs to stay in whatever pit they ended up putting him in. That's all I gotta say about that. He needs to die. Just gonna put that out.
So the show is like this really, really cool adventure where you're like going from place to place. And then other than like the kind of grounded stuff, then in the background you have like this ancient dragon that like hundreds of people are trying to like maintain the seal on. And every now and then you go to a new place and like they're telling these like old stories, or you see this like giant statue of the dragon like right in the center of town, and you like everybody knows about the dragon. They don't know exactly where it is. They know that one day he may come back because it's in the prophecy. It's cool for this world that like everybody knows about this like huge ancient thing, and the audience knows what's exactly happening with it. I can't remember. I know something really bad happened with the seal towards the end. I just can't remember like what exactly. And then also, other than this giant dragon, there's demons in the world, and there's this whole hierarchy of demons, and it's kind of like evil angels, where it's like they're not under, like they're demons, but they're like in the sky. It's weird. I don't remember.
Basically, you're gonna have to watch over again to be able to make sure you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I remember it's like a lot of cool elements for this story, and
which I would entirely be behind if it wasn't for that one character who needs to die. I would be totally on board because it has everything I like in an anime. Good story, good action, has a dragon. I love dragons, but I hate that character. God.
So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching it, and depending on how awesome it is, I may bug you. Probably not. Yeah, definitely excited for season 2. The next show we're going to be talking about is Uchoten Kazoku season 2, or the Eccentric Family season 2. This is another show that I have to rewatch because it has a whole bunch of cool, weird elements that I am not used to, and the story is very, very intriguing. The story for this is one day, the junior, estranged son of Professor Akadama, who disappeared after losing a fierce father-son dispute after a century now an English gentleman. The big news spread in and out of Kyoto area in a blink of an eye and shake up both the Tenku and Tanuki worlds. The path of humans, Tanukis, Tenkus, and intertwine in Kyoto as the second volume of the Furball picture scroll unravels. So it looks like there's a very, very important character that they may have been talking about in the first series, and he actually shows up in town. The first series was pretty weird and like weirdly chaotic, but kind of calm and plain. It's basically there's like 3 different types of people in this world. There's the regular humans, there's tanukis, which are the little raccoons, and then there's tengus, which are like these fly. I don't know I know that they fly and they have big noses, but I can't remember exactly what a tengu is.
I want to say it's like a raven almost.
I think so. But in this show, there's this weird hierarchy. Basically, the tengus have more power over the tanukis, and some people actually eat the tanukis.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's in human form, so it's this weird, like, it's kind of like a gunless, violenceless mafia. It's this weird. It's like there's these groups which are like mafia families, and they like have power over certain areas, and like the tanukis are they're just trying to live their lives without getting eaten, and it's like even in the tanuki world there's like the leader and then like people who are below him, and like there's like the leadership is all in this one family, and it's interesting, but also very weird. If you look at the trailer, there's like these 2 twins who I hate their freaking guts, and I don't remember why I hate them. All I know is that I really, really hate them. And like they enter the scene and like they like squat down and like do like some weird head move, and like they're so weird. I hate them. God, I think they did something that caused somebody else to get eaten, and I was pissed. But like, as weird as the show is, like the characters are so interesting, and I was so invested in what's happening in the story that when the 2nd season was announced, I'm like, oh, definitely I'm going back. I don't even remember where everything left off. I think everything was fine, and then now they're bringing in this other like powerful character that's gonna shake everything up again. Maybe it'll turn the tide to where the tanukis have more power and the tengus are lower. But I have no idea. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the show. The characters are great. The story is very, very, very unique, and I recommend trying it out.
Yeah, this is one I always meant to go to. I just never like. For some reason, it kind of fell between the cracks for me. So, like the picture for it when I first saw it always was like, that looks interesting, but I never actually went back to it. So I'll definitely try to go for like the first season and see what's up with it, and maybe try to get into it, see how it goes. But I have not watched any of it, so I can't really form an opinion about that myself.
Mm-hmm. It's done by PA Works, and PA Works is a show that I'm used to seeing like gorgeous, just shiny anime from, and every now and then they'll like depart from their like normal style and do something really, really unique, and this is one of those shows where like I like PA Works shows just pull me into the world. Like there was one called A Lull in the Sea, where there was these characters some characters lived underwater, and they're also regular people, and something happened to their school, like to the school where the underwater people lived, and they ended up having to go to school on land. They have this protective layer around them to where they can breathe on land and everything, and they can also breathe on the water. But like certain things happened. Like there was this like ceremony that happens every year, and like something like crazy happened, and it just turned the whole world upside down, and like I was glued to the screen for the whole story because they do really good character. Like PA Works just sucks me in. Like that show sucked me in. The first season of this one sucked me in. So I'm ready to just jump right into this world.
Nice.
Last show we have for today is Zero Kara Hajimeru Mahou show. No, Mahou no show.
And I haven't. Okay, I will say I was just kind of looking into it real quick. It's done by White Fox. Yeah. I'll start with that. I haven't seen a lot from them in recent, so I'm super excited to see something come from them because what they have done in the past, I have absolutely loved. Yeah. It has been absolutely amazing to see their shows. I mean, all the way back from Katana Gatari, which I still need to finish.
Oh, God.
Jorgamond, to Akame ga Kill, to Utawaremono. I mean, the list just goes on. Even ReZero, all of these shows have been amazing shows. They've had great storylines, great characters. It's amazing. So here we are with this one. Description for it is the Grimoire Fantasy series follows a witch named Zero who is ignorant of the world and a half-beast, half-human mercenary who longs to be human. Witches who practice sorcery exist in the world. However, in this era, no one knows how about the art and study of witchcraft. Zero is going on a journey in search of a magical tome called the Book of Zero, which hides a power that can destroy the world. The mercenary travels with her as her guard. This just seems like an excellent fantasy story. And it almost reminds me of, God, I never went back to it. I wish I did. Do you remember the anime with the girl who did sorcery magic, but it was with a gun? And there was a brother and sister pair that were guarding her.
Yeah, there was like an evil unicorn.
I think so. Yes. Yeah. That one.
Yeah, there's 2 seasons of it, and I watched like 2 episodes.
I watched the first season. I was almost on the second season, but I stopped. I don't remember why. Anyways, this kind of reminds me of it because they had the girl who they were chasing after because she basically had evil. She was the daughter of evil, whatever. Anyways, they were chasing after her. She had her guards. And here we are again. Now there's a magical girl. She's basically, again, world's in danger, potentially, because of she's searching for this book. And then she has a mercenary with her. And his, I guess, uniqueness to him is that he's half beast, half human. But it still looks really cool, honestly. The visuals for this were spot on, though then again, pretty much everything I have seen from White Fox, the visuals, visually wise, has been spot on. I'm not sure. Are they a studio that's branched off from somebody else? Do you know? Or are they their own studio? Considering the fact that they go back as far as they do, I think they're their own studio.
Yeah, they've been their own thing that I know of for a while.
So, considering that, like, they don't have a lot under their belt, not like some of these other, bigger studios that we've seen, but I kind of hold them in the same regards as, like, Bones in them because, again, their quality has almost been, like, is done nothing but improve, in my opinion, as far as, like, the actual look of everything they've done. And then just the storylines, everyone, like the last one I watched from them was ReZero, and the storyline from that was just insane. It was absolutely insane, but it was so good. It captured you and wanted you to watch more. And here again, this is going to be another one that's going to be much the same, where this is going to be another one. The storyline's just going to capture you, and you're going to be like, I want to know what happens. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah. With me, I didn't like the trailer.
Didn't do it for you, huh?
Like the animal people, I don't know. Something about them that I was like, I was looking at it. I think the girl was doing stuff first, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, raw. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm gonna watch it, but I don't know. Because I'm just like you said, like this show, this studio is like coming out with better and better and better anime. It's like it's going from like Yormungan from back in the day to like recently with ReZero. I don't know. I don't want to put my expectations too high because ReZero was like super, super duper popular. And
for good reason, though.
Yeah. So I don't want to be like, uh-oh, it's another ReZero. It's going to be awesome. But I have a feeling like it's going to be good because White Fox does good shows. I haven't seen a bad show from White Fox. It's just me with my mascot characters things. Like, maybe he was too big, and I'm like, I don't know. But I'll give it a shot.
I don't know. He's definitely an imposing figure, but I mean, he's standing behind the girl, and obviously she's young, so maybe that's like the difference between them. It's like you see her, and she's just young, and he's probably like an adult, and he's just towering over her. I don't know. The animation with the animals, like the wolf that they showed in one part in the preview, was a little bit kind of like, it's a little over exaggerated on it, but I think they do have a little bit of a comedic effect in here because like they showed her eating something and she had like a chibi face kind of look to her or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, they probably kind of go a little bit back and forth with like some of the over the top kind of things, but hopefully the storyline and everything else and the action sequences keep things in the perspective it needs to be in. So,
and also fantasy is like one of my weaker genres. Like fantasy,
one of my higher genres.
Yeah, fantasy, I'm always on the fence. So this is another show where I'm like, it's done by White Fox. I'll watch it. So that has been the episode for today. The upcoming spring anime what we think about the upcoming spring anime for 2016. We will be back in a month to talk about the end of this current season. There are a lot of good shows out right now. I'm only caught up with one, but I will catch up. I will definitely catch up with at least 3 other ones. And then the month after that, we will, what is it? May. In May, we will be talking about our initial thoughts for spring season with all of the really hyped season 2s coming out.
The season of sequels. That's what this is. The season of sequels.
Yeah. And it's like before, I think we've had that a couple of seasons ago where it was just nothing but sequels. But it was like low profile.
Sequels no one really much cared for.
Yeah. So now it's just like the blockbuster sequels.
Yep.
So, yeah, this has been Big D and Shade. You can get in contact with us on Facebook and Twitter at Takoyaki Anime. I will be streaming some watch parties for the 3 shows or maybe more. So you can catch me doing that. But other than that, we will see y'all the next time. Bye. Pretty good season so far.
Has nothing compared to what next season's going to hold, but we're not on that season. We're on this season.
Yeah. And when we watched that movie, there was a couple of things that they that happened in the movie that didn't happen in the first series. So I'm hoping it didn't kind of spoil the second season. But it's been so long since I've seen the movie that I don't remember a lot of what happened in the movie. So this will be all, even if it shows like some of the same things, I'm like, oh yeah, they did show that in the movie, and it won't. It's not that fresh into my mind where
it'll still be a surprise basically because of that.